For all you folks at home, this is a strange kind of situation because Pat is over in Ireland and I'm here in Vermont, and we thought that on Pete Seeger's, what it would be his 103rd birthday, I think, and that we would try this together to have this kind of little talk and a little bit of some music, okay? And Bob McIntosh is watching. Okay, good. Let us know if we're still the right way. We're looking good. So that's good. Pat, you know, I think a lot of my friends know who you are because, you know, you've been involved in so many of the different live stream projects that we've been doing. And I thought that it would be kind of really interesting for you to tell a little bit of your story, because you told us earlier on how you were doing your live stream about how you first heard Pete Seeger when you were a young kid.
That's correct, Rick. You can hear me okay, yeah?
Yeah, okay. You could be louder, yeah. But...
Okay, I'll move a bit closer. So basically, at a young age, my older brother, Tim, 13 years older than me, introduced me to the five-string banjo and folk music. And there was Pete Seeger albums lying around. That was my first introduction to Pete. And also Irish folk singer Luke Kelly of the Dubliners was a big Pete fan, and he was a connoisseur of the long neck banjo, which I am as well, that Pete invented. And I just loved both the songs he sang and also his ability to capture an audience with just one voice, one instrument.
Well, I think that Marianne is adjusting the volume over here.
Okay.
All right. Can you turn up your volume a little bit?
He sounds loud upstairs.
Okay.
I can just come closer, maybe.
Is it going up at all?
Yeah.
Is that better?
I think so. All right, Kevin. Okay. Kevin is watching there. I'm sure that some of your friends are watching now. Why don't you give us a little tune while we adjust, Mariana, adjust some more stuff. Give us a little tune.
That's good. That's good. I'll do. I just love Well May the World Go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, may the world go, the world go, the world go. Well, may the world go when I'm far away. Well, may the skiers turn, the swimmers churn, the lovers burn. Peace may the generals learn when I'm far away. Well, may the world go, the world go, the world go. Well, may the world go when I'm far away. Sweet may the fiddle sound, the banjo play the old toe down, dancers swinging round and round when I'm far away. Well, may the world go, the world go, the world go. Well, may the world go when I'm far away. Fresh may the breezes blow, clear may the streams flow, blue above and green below when I'm far away. Well, may the world go, the world go, the world go. Well, may the world go when I'm far away. Well, may the world go, the world go, the world go. Well, may may the world go when I'm far away.
All right. Well, may the world go. An old, old favorite. And you know, I think that I could see that there are some friends are Kevin Willis is watching over here. I don't know if he's a friend of yours, Pat, but it's certainly great to have you here. And as you can see, folks, I am playing my guitar again, which has been really kind of nice. I don't know if that's coming through.
Yep.
Blue sky above us, one ocean lapping all our shore, one earth so green and round. Who could ask for more? And because I love you, I'll give it one more try to show my rainbow race. It's too soon to die. Some folks want to be like an ostrich, bury their heads in the sand. Some folks think that plastic dreams can unclench all those greedy hands. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping all our shores, one earth so green and round. Who could ask for more? And because I love you, I'll give it one more try to show my rainbow race. It's too soon to die. Some wanna take the easy way, poisons, bombs, they think we need them. Don't you know you can't kill all the unbelievers? There's no shortcut to freedom. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping all our shores, one earth so green and round. Who could ask for more? And because I love you, I'll give it one more try to show my rainbow race. It's too soon to die. Go tell all the children. Tell the mothers and fathers too. There's our last chance to learn to share what's been given to me and you. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping all our shores, one earth so green and round. Who could ask for more? And because I love you, I'll give it one more try to show my rainbow race. It's too soon to die. Now, Pat, I can remember when I must have still been in high school, and I saw that Pete Seeger, the Rainbow Race album in the department store. And when I put it on and I listened to that, that wasn't the first. The first album that I got was that Young versus Old was the first one that I got with the Cumberland Mountain Bear Chase on it.
I learned that one too.
And Get Up and Go, and all of these songs. I never really heard anything like Pete before. You know, when I started listening to those albums, and it really it lit that spark in me. I just wanted to learn more and more. And so when I got the Rainbow Race album is when it kind of turned on the idea of maybe getting involved with the Clearwater. And the first time that I met Pete wasn't much of a meeting. it was one of those things. I was still in I was in high school, and I heard that Pete was coming to the college, to Douglas College, and I played hooky. I went and I hitchhiked. I went there, and at that time my hair was really, really long, so I looked like one of the college kids. So nobody questioned me. I slipped in the back, and I saw Pete up there singing, and there was this moment, Pat, that I felt my body fill up with light. I never had anything like this. It was like I looked at Pete and I said, this is what I want to do with my life. And I felt myself filling up with light. And I went afterwards. He had a petition that everybody could sign against the Vietnam War. And so I was over there, and there was mothers and little babies and strollers and the college kids, and everybody was welcome. And so, everybody's signing the petition. And then I went over to Pete, and I was scared to death, Pat. And I said, Mr. Seeger, why do you play the banjo? And Pete looked at me, he goes, because I like the tone. And that smile, I just felt like I was on top of the world. And so I hitchhiked back, and I started thinking about, like, this is really what I'm going to try to do with my life. And it wasn't until, I started writing some letters to Pete. He started saying, you should get involved with the Clearwater. And that's, I got involved with the Clearwater, but I still didn't get a chance to meet Pete. I'd see him up from afar, but I didn't get a chance to really meet him until, I guess it was a few years later. And then he was playing at this concert. He was playing at this concert with Arlo Guthrie in Central Park. And my mother, because we lived in New Jersey at the time, not too far from Central Park, and we used to go over there every once in a while, look at the museums. And my mother brought my two young sisters, Lisa and Tina. I think Lisa must have been all of about 10. and they went there and they saw everybody setting up all these blankets, Pat. And my sister said, "What's going on?" And they said, "Oh, there's a concert tonight with Pete Seeger and Arlo Guthrie." Now, because Lisa saw all of these albums that I had of Pete in the house, she thought that we were friends. And she decided that she thought I must be backstage because we're such good friends. I would be backstage with Pete. So she went with my sister, Tina, who was even younger, and they went over to the person who was watching the back gate. My sister said, "I think my brother is backstage with Pete Seeger. Can you take us there?" And he did. He took these two little girls backstage, and they got to meet with Pete. They were sitting around talking with Pete. I wasn't there, Pat, so to this day, I'm really not sure what happened there. But they talked to Pete, and Lisa said that, she started telling them about me being a banjo player and that kind of stuff. Well, I went to that concert that night. And at the concert, Pete said, "Well, tomorrow we're going to have a big Clearwater event in Hoboken, New Jersey. Everybody's welcome." So it was a Clearwater event. I was a member of Clearwater. I said, "I'm going to go." So I took my banjo. I'm walking out the door, and my sister looks at me and she goes, "Did you know that Pete Seeger files his nails?" It's like, what? I had no idea of this little meeting. And so I got over to the event, and there was a bunch of young people like myself. They were all playing music. Myra Aronson was there, and Paul Moselle was there, a few other people, and they're playing guitars and stuff, and I'm playing along with them. And who comes walking by but Pete? He takes his big Stanley Francis 12 string out of the case, and he starts strumming along with us. And I couldn't believe it, I'm still like, I'm almost 20 years old at that point. And I'm like, I can't believe this is happening to me, So Pete's there playing and he's smiling and the music stops and he goes, I haven't seen you before. Who are you? And I said, I'm Rik Palieri. And he said, Rick, I met your sisters yesterday. And I said, what? He said, I met your sisters yesterday and they told me that you were a good banjo player. Why don't you join us up on stage? We'll play a couple songs together.
Oh.
And he brought me up on stage. And that was the beginning. My life totally changed from that moment on. And for about 40 years, I got a chance to be, it took a long time. I couldn't say that I was friends with Pete at the beginning, You have to earn that kind of friendship.
Absolutely.
I spent a lot of time going and visiting with him, as you did. And I thought it would be fun for you to, you're from Ireland. So it's something really special to get a chance to go over and meet with Pete. Can you tell the folks what it was like for you?
I will indeed. I've been traveling to the States, from 2001 onwards, and basing ourselves in Massachusetts initially. We've spread our wings a bit wider, and I got to perform in New England, and people had an idea of my inspirations, and Pete Seeger came up on the conversation along with other folkies. And this particular lady, coincidentally, knew Pete personally. She was in the midst of our group by coincidence, and she said, I know Pete pretty well, and she said, I think he'd like to see you sometime. And I said, well, whatever about him liking to see me, I said, I certainly would like to see him. And she basically made contact with Pete, and she told him, this Irish guy could arrive any day at your door. And is that okay? And Pete gave it. He said, yeah, no problem. And that's how the initiation of the visit came about. So staying with our friends in Massachusetts, and I decided on a whim, one morning or one late night, to be honest with you, to get up in the morning early, drive to Beacon, New York from southern Massachusetts, round trip, and in the hope that Pete was there. I had his phone number. I said, I'm going to go. He could have been anywhere. And we drove up that steep hill. Eventually, it's a long story as to how we found him. It's a hard enough place to find. And I can still see the two cabins, houses in the distance as we drove through the trees. And I had my son Ricky, who was 12 years of age at the time and plays music. And I looked at Ricky. I said, maybe we should do a U-turn. I'm getting cold feet. And then I just pinched myself and said, look, let's go for it. And so I go to Pete's front door. You're probably familiar with it. It's got a clear pane of glass on it. You can see through it. And as I knocked at the door, I was kind of, one half of me is hoping that he wasn't there, that someone else would answer and say, no, he's not at home. Who are you? Oh yeah, sorry about that. See you later. And the other half was, is he at home? So I was standing to one side and I saw this colorful shirt sleeve appearing. And I said, I just froze on the spot and said, whoa. And he just opens the door and asks who we were. He said at the time he was 90 years of age, just after his 90th birthday. And he said, my mind is going. He said, I've very poor short-term memory. My long-term memory is good. I feel good physically. He said, I know I'm not able to. He said, if you tell me your names, within a half an hour, I probably won't remember them. And so then told him we were from Cork, Ireland, and he said, I probably passed through there. It's in the southwest. And I said, yeah, you're right. And Tommy Macomb came up he said, I miss Tommy. Tommy had died 2 years previously. And then he said, you know a guy called Tommy Sands? And I said, well, I don't know him personally, but I know who you're speaking of. And I'd known of their relationship and friendship. And he says, he's done a lot to bring the people of Ireland together, North and South, conflict, and with his peaceful songs and his inclusion of both sides in his songs and music. And he performed for different events on both sides. There was no division. And then he proceeded to tell us that Tommy Sands was teaching him an Irish language song at age 90. And he said, do you know this song? He says, it's O Roshi de Vahawalia. And I said, yeah, we know the chorus anyway. He says, let's sing it. And he, O Roshi de Vahawalia, O Roshi de Vahawalia, O Roshi de Vahawalia, and Isher Hopton Taurig. Myself, my son, a 90-year-old at the time, whatever age I was, I'm trying to think, 40-something, and a 12-year-old boy on Pete Seeger's doorstep. And he said, you see that stone there? I said, yeah. He said, I built that myself. And he said, you know what's one of the best inventions, he said, is Portland cement. He said, before you'd have to put stones on top of each other with a slope so that when the water, it would flow back out again. He says, with Portland cement, you can put them any way you want, and you can seal it, and it'll stick the whole thing together. And he was showing us his stone front of his house, and he called us in, and he said, this is my wife Toshi. He said, and she shook her hands, and he said, look, and like you said earlier today, there was probably two big kitchen table full of mail, mountain high. And he said, this 90th birthday thing, he says, it's too much publicity. He said, look at all that, he said, I won't stay too long with you. I've got to get back to some of this stuff. And he had some volunteers assisting him in dealing with the mail. And then as we headed out the door, his sheepdog decided to take a shine to us and followed us to the car. And Pete said, hold on a minute. He said, I need to get this guy in, because he's got a habit of running after cars. And so he took the dog inside the door. And he said, sorry, I have to close the door while you leave. But he said, it was great meeting you. And because he said to Toshi, he says, there's two guys from Ireland here to see me. He said, and she was, I don't know Toshi, but she was reserved, composed, and with a nice smile on her face, and shook her hands. Probably one of millions, but we felt so special, Rick. I feel so privileged to have just shook his. I said, I don't want to annoy you. I said, I don't want to take up much of your time. I said, I just want to shake your hand. And it was such a wonderful time, and so forever grateful.
So Pat, do you have another song that you want to share with us?
I will. I'll try the one I've been singing in my live stream since COVID took a shine to us, and it's called God's Counting on Me, and I co-wrote this one, I think, in 2012 or something. Where am I?
Yeah, a lot of people, I think, helped out. Lori Wyatt, I think, helped out on that.
That's correct. When we look and we see things are not what they should be, God's counting on me. God's counting on you. When we look and we see things are not what they should be, God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, hoping we'll all pull through, me and you. When there's big problems to be solved, let's get everyone involved. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. When there's big problems to be solved, let's get everyone involved. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Me and you. It's time to turn things around. Trickle up, not trickle down. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. It's time to turn things around. Trickle up, not trickle down. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Me and you. Oh, don't give up. Don't give in. Working together we all can win. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Now don't give up. Don't give in. Working together we all can win. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Me and you. What we do now, you and me, will affect eternity. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. What we do now, you and me, will affect eternity. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Me and you. Now when we sing with younger folks, we can never give up hope. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Now when we sing with younger folks, we can never give up hope. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Now hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Me and you.
All right, Pat. Why don't you give the folks who are like Barry is over here. He's watching. He comes to here a lot. Why don't you give everybody a little way of contacting you so that they can know what you're up to?
Absolutely. Website is longneckmusic.com. You can't forget that. longneckmusic.com. And email is pat@longneckmusic.com. If you prefer to contact Kathleen, it's kathleen@longneckmusic.com.
And your Facebook, you do a weekly live stream, right?
Yeah, it's getting a bit. How would you say? It's been pushed around because of live gigs, but we tend to do it on a Friday or Saturday if possible. And I probably do it a bit earlier than usual because I've got summer season coming up and something like 4 gigs a week. So make the hay while the sun shines, as to say, you know. So
yeah,
Pat Kelleher, look me up and you find me. Yeah.
We sang this this song together, trading verses. We'll see if we can do it. Well, Irene, good night. Irene, good night. I'm in the key of G. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Got the verse?
Last Saturday night I got married. Me and my wife settled down. Now me and my wife, we are parted. I'm gonna take a little stroll around town.
Here we go. Well, Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams.
Irene, good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams.